Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw Inside Out 2, the follow-up to the 2015 phenomenon Inside Out. Inside Out 2 is directed by Kelsey Mann. It stars Amy Poehler and Maya Hawke. And not being a fan of the first one, really, Inside Out 2 is freaking phenomenal. I adore this film. I had higher expectations because I heard so many nice things about this film. But again, not loving the first film and really struggling to get in touch with those characters at the time, talking 9 years ago now, I wasn't sure how I would feel about this film. Again, went in with high expectations, walked out completely enthralled by this film. It's a wonderful follow-up. It's one of those, seldom instances where the sequel is better than the original. This absolutely is true of Inside Out 2. I felt a deep emotional connection to many of these characters, especially some of the new characters being introduced, specifically Maya Hawke's anxiety. Hearing her, first and foremost, she is a wonderful voice actor. She does a great job of bringing that character to life and really embodying what anxiety is and what we know anxiety is as adults. I know that this film follows Riley, who's just turned 13 years old, is now experiencing puberty and about to go to high school, but this really tugs at the heartstrings of adults as well. That's really what you want an animated film that's really geared towards kids to do. You want it to be accessible to kids and you want it to be funny to kids and a little bit silly for them, but you also need it to be accessible and relatable for those adults that are accompanying those kids to the theater. And while I'm the weirdo that sat in the theater by myself, surrounded by kids and their parents, I absolutely was able to access this film, and I felt a really deep emotional connection to these characters. The star of the show here, though, is Phyllis Smith, who many of you probably know from The Office. She voices Sadness. She's reprising her role from the 2015 film, and she gets to play a larger role in this film. From what I can remember, a significantly larger role in this film than the previous the previous film. I thoroughly enjoy her in this film. She does a wonderful job, and then none of the voice acting can come to life. It's a major part of it, but none of it can really work unless that animation works really, really well. For those of you that know Disney, for those of you that know Pixar, which is, most of you at this point, they don't miss. Once again, they don't miss. And in this installment of Disney Pixar lore, Disney Pixar canon, they use different types of animation to bring this story to life. It's not just the typical Pixar 3D animation that they use all the time. They use other types of animation as well. And that works in a lot of ways. It helps to juxtapose it and helps it pop a little bit better, but it also just provides a bit of diversity that we don't get to see in animation as often anymore. So it's really, really interesting, and I appreciate the fact that they did that. Going into the story, I found this story far more appealing than the original film because as Riley is maturing and again experiencing puberty, she is experiencing more mature emotions and dealing with more mature situations and circumstances in her life. That allows me and other adults to understand and appreciate the film on a different level, on a deeper level than maybe we were able to in the first film. I can't say enough good things about this film. I walked out of the theater, thought about this a few times while in the theater. This is Disney's, any Disney property film, whether that's Star Wars or Marvel or any contributing studio. This is the best film that Disney has released since Encanto. I was brought near to tears. It's not quite as emotional as Encanto is, but I felt a similar connection, and I thoroughly enjoyed just about every second of this film. I'm going to give this film an 8.5. It's pretty close to done its run in theaters, so you can if you want a quiet theater at this point. Most kids have seen this at this point. School's been out for a few weeks, even a month for some schools. most people have seen it. If you want a quiet theater, go ahead. But I encourage you to sit down and watch this with your family, whether you're an adult, you're a single individual, you have kids, you have grandparents that you want to watch it with. I encourage you to spend a little bit of money and a couple hours with your family, your friends, whoever you want to watch Inside Out 2. Again, better than the first installment in this series. I'm almost hoping that we get a trilogy out of this because of what I know they're capable of now with this story and with these characters. And again, I love it. Until next time, guys, peace.